You're never going to win a series against a team like Immortals unless you go in confident and feeling like you're going to win.
Every single fight they take, everyone is in on that play. But I don't think they calculate those fights very well.
Immortals have turned it around!
I can see that they play better on the playoff than Spring Split.
TSM coming back strong.
But they don't really have better game knowledge than us.
I really don't think we're going to lose, so there's no reason to prepare.
I think their weakness is definitely, they're really overconfident, they're super complacent.
We saw just a lot of opportunities to take advantage of some of their weaknesses.
I'm not disrespecting anything, but we are going to win.
I actually think Immortals is going to tilt the Fu in one game. Just tilt them. All right. Easy strat.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to day 2 of the LCS Spring semifinals. Fans have packed the Battle Arena to see their favorite teams face off to decide the second half of our final matchup. Earlier in the day, the crowd was gathered outside and getting pumped up for today's action. Of course, they're looking forward to see Immortals, who are headed to the stage for their first playoff performance. They're going up against TSM, who are playoff veterans and will be looking to head to the finals yet again as an organization. Thank you for watching with us. I'm James Dash Patterson, and joining me this afternoon on the analyst desk is special guest Loco Doco, along with mainstay Aiden Zyrene Moon. Good evening, not good evening. What? Good evening, good afternoon.
Hi, Dash.
Gentlemen. What's up, Loco? How are we doing today?
Pretty good considering what happened yesterday.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. Yesterday, after a hard-fought 5-game series, CounterLogic Gaming emerged victorious and is the first team to lock in their spot for the spring finals match. Now, in case you missed it, here's a replay of the epic conclusion. Or to steal from Connor Murphy over on Twitter, that last TP play from CLG was amazing. Double teleporting on the same minion to get the kill on Piglet. Genius. Let's check it out.
All right, I can TP too.
I can TP.
Come on.
We can TP mid, Jay. Double TP mid.
All right.
You have GA, right?
Yep. No, not yet. We can TP now. You want
All right,
to?
I'm teleporting.
All right. I don't flash.
Don't go in. Okay.
You got him.
Okay, so if they channel it at exactly the same time, you can't tell, but it was a little bit delayed.
Yeah.
And he had a trap even. That's why he felt so safe. He's like, oh yeah, he'll teleport onto a trap and I'm good.
Is absolutely insane that they were able to communicate that. And you hear Smithy going, don't do it. But, I guess it's good. But that's what I love seeing. That was a game 5 that I'm going to remember forever, because that was a game that ended a series that was very tense. There was a lot at stake there, and it wasn't off of the blood of fools. We weren't seeing people making misplays. We weren't seeing them throwing at certain objectives. That was the blood of heroes. Piglet was making the right play by staying there. 6-item Caitlyn, you're standing there going, trap goes down, whoever comes through, I'm killing them. Right. And he stood his ground, but it ended up being a genius play from CLG that caught him off guard, and everybody looked like a hero in that set, and that's why Liquid can walk away holding their heads high into that 3rd, 4th.
Yeah, Loco, I know it may have been a tough loss, to lose a 5-game series that was that hard fought, but I want to know what your thoughts are on the series as a whole.
I mean, I'm really proud of my team. Like, no one expected us to be there. And I guess people expected us to place 4th, but this season was really, really competitive. And we had 3 rookies going into the season. And we really stepped up. And I felt like we definitely could have taken the series versus CLG. Like, if it got played again, like today or the day after, like, maybe who knows? Like, it wasn't like a stomp. And they just showed up more than us, and they were more clutch.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the fight that preceded that double TP play in which Piglet was going off. Essentially, Team Liquid had won that fight. So it just illustrates how close that 5th game was, and really that was the entire series was close.
Yeah, it was really close. And then there's a couple of things that can pick ban, and I want to talk to you about that a little bit, because like the Anivia Soraka came through and won. There was a first pick Kindred and one for your side as well. So like, coming into today, if you had actually been playing on this day, do you think you would have had a better grasp because you would have been able to see IMT versus TSM the day before?
I mean, it definitely would help, but also it would help CLG too, so maybe they would draft better. I was pretty happy with the draft in 1, 4, and 5. Not so much happy on 2 and 3. So, yeah. I mean, yeah, like, playing on the later day helps you if you don't have a good grasp on the meta, but it also helps your opponent, so it's like a double-edged sword.
Sure.
All right, well, very good to know, and we'll be curious to see how it affects the two teams that are playing today. Let's take a look at our bracket. CLG are locked into Sunday's finals match with Liquid fighting for third place on Saturday. Every victory matters, though, because championship points are on the line as teams fight for the currency that buys them a spot at Worlds. Now, Energy Esports and Cloud9 will be walking away with 10 points, and additional points will be distributed amongst the remaining teams after standings are finalized next week. Now, as we approach Las Vegas and the final showdown, we want to celebrate North America's most legendary moments in 2016, and we need your help. So for our social media question of the day, let us know your favorite moment from the 2016 NALCS Spring Split and why. Tweet your epic memories to @LolEsports, and we'll check back with some of your submissions after today's match. Now, let's get into the match at hand as first seed Immortals take on the winningest organization in NALCS history, TSM. Both of these teams made waves during the 2016 preseason with their star-studded rosters, so it's only fitting that the two super teams meet in the playoffs. Now, the pressure is on for both of these teams, but both rosters, they have a wealth of experience to calm their nerves going in.
Exactly. Very high expectations here for both teams, but something's got to give. TSM have made all 6 NALCS finals, and they want to make that 7th. Immortals, they look like an unstoppable freight train. One of these things ends today.
Yep, and leading the charge for these teams, I mean, Yellow Star and Wild Turtle, two members that have been to every LCS finals in their respective regions. So along with the theme of something's got to give, one of those players is going to lose as well. But Loco, talk to me a little bit. You have a lot of experience with a lot of these players. Talk to me about how much experience these guys have and how that can help them going through this 5-game series.
I mean, during playoffs, of course, it's a lot about skills, but as you get to later games, especially game 3, 4, and 5, it's more about mentality, how much focus you can bring it, how much pressure you're under, and how you can deal with it. Because in game 1 and 2, like, say you get ganked and you die, like, you're like, whatever, I got ganked and I died. And then going into the later games in the set, you get ganked, you fall behind, you lose a team fight, and you're thinking, oh my god, we're going to lose this. Like, oh my god, like, what are the fans are going to say after this set? Like, what are the Reddit comments going to say? Like, things start getting in your head. And veterans, they're able to block it out and just focus and only see what's in the monitor and be in the present and not worry about what's going to happen or what I messed up on before. And for rookie players, like, that can be hard to control. But everyone here has been playing League of Legends for, like, forever. So, and they all have international experience. They've all been in playoffs before, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe all of them have been in playoffs before. Only 2 of them haven't been to Worlds, Hanser and Adrian, but Hanser's been to IEM and has international experience. But also, we have multiple members who made it to semifinals of Worlds and have played many international games against top teams, even some of them losing to those top teams. So I think that this is something that we're not seeing a lot of rookies today, any at all. So
no,
I'm looking for that veteran experience. I'm looking to see what happens if it does go to game 3, 4, and 5. Who's going to be able to step up and be that clutch player to make those calm plays?
Yeah, star-studded rosters across the board. Let's examine now some of the storylines around the matchups themselves. Let's start in the top lane with Huni versus Hanser. I mean, here you look at this and you say, I mean, Huni, we've touted him as being the top laner in the league, but Hanser's been a rock for TSM.
Yeah, Hanser's been a rock even though TSM ended in their lowest position ever during the regular split, and Hanser got OP5 twice, and he's the only TSM member who even made OP5 this split. He was a rock for them in the top lane, even when they were looking pretty bad during the regular season.
I mean, I think Huni's greatest strengths are how aggressively he lanes and his synergy with Rainover and his excellent use of TP. But Hanser is so well-rounded. He can play carries, he can play tanks, and the way he trades and the way he plays lane, I think in the current meta, I do think Hanser is a better top laner, but it's gonna, like, even if you're the better top laner, if the other team has better jungle and top lane synergy, they can overpower you. And I think that's something that might give Huni the edge, but in pure 1v1 situation in the current meta, I do think Hanser is the better player.
Yeah, actually going to talk about both those in transition, because in the 1v1, Huni is a player, he always likes to have some sort of edge over you. They'll draft around Huni getting a superior pick top or having the superior jungle pick so they have pressure on that top side of the map. And so Huni actually goes out of his way to play things that are off meta to try and counter you, right? He's played the Cho'Gath, he's played the Echo top AP, right? So he's always looking for that edge over his opponents, and he grinds himself in solo queue and in scrims to have that edge. So he's always working to sharpen himself. And then him and Rainover, well, that was Intact synergy that came over here, and there's synergy that focused on that top lane constantly. Whereas Svenskeren, he's a little more mid-focused right now, working around Bjergsen, who actually was unlocked against that Cloud9 squad. And up against Pobelter, He's going to need that synergy to try and take that down because that's the edge that TSM has. Pobelter, you know, he got the championship over Bjergsen last time, but Bjergsen's looking for revenge today. I want to see how much he calls Svenskeren into that mid lane to actually try and get an advantage for TSM because Bjergsen has been creating his own all season long.
And Bjergsen's played so many champions that we can't even fit them all onto the graphic, which is, you know, that's going to be a huge thing for them coming into this game, just his champion pool and his ability to perhaps counterpick Pobelter in certain matchups. But, you know, what's even more interesting about these two players is that they played for the title last summer, and here they are again playing for a chance at the title between the two of them. But, you know, it's funny, I want to go back to the jungle, and Loco, I want to get your thoughts on this because we've seen, or typically we talk about the top lane and jungle synergy for Immortals, and now we're talking about the mid lane and jungle synergy for TSM. But as I talk to players throughout the LCS, everyone talks about how Reignover can be anywhere at any moment. So from the coach's perspective, what are your thoughts on Reignover and where he stacks up against the rest of the junglers?
Reignover is really, really intelligent. Players like Dardoch and Rush, they're very, very mechanically proficient, and they like overpowering people with their mechanical prowess and just outdueling them. And I mean, I think Dardoch and Rush are both incredibly smart players, but for Reignover, that's not his main strength, not his mechanics. It's how he pressures the map, how he plays those mind games, how he communicates with the laners, and he's always in the right spot. He's also unpredictable. He just doesn't do the same thing over and over again. So, like, that's what makes him really, really good. That he can adapt, that he can be really smart, and yeah, like, he's just a really, really good jungler.
And that's what's really scary when you play against Reignover, because he actually gets like a Reignover buff, because you sit in the game as a jungler and you go, oh, I want to gank this lane, but then you're like, wait, Reignover, he's unpredictable, I haven't seen him in a little bit, he could be here, he could be reading me. So a lot of people actually aren't as aggressive against Reignover as they should be, just because they think that he could call them out on their play and just mess up the entire game.
And also, that's why one of his best champions is Rek'Sai, because with tunnels, you can literally be almost anywhere. You're on the bottom side of the map pressuring, and then you take all your tunnels, and then you end up on top side, or you can even ult there, and you're there instantly.
All right, now let's jump down to the bottom lane and close out the lane matchups, specifically Doublelift Wild Turtle. I mean, this is an interesting matchup because, again, they, in a sense, swapped. I know that Wild Turtle's not on CLG, but they're now playing against each other just on different teams yet again. But an exciting matchup every time these two guys go up against each other.
Yeah, every time they play against each other, these are the two AD carries that it just goes back. This is the rivalry right now, back from TSM CLG. And Doublelift got the better of Wild Turtle in the finals last time. So right now, in the semifinals, Wild Turtle, he wants to knock out Doublelift and not give Doublelift that opportunity to play his former bottom lane in the finals.
Yeah, we had a comparison graphic a few weeks ago in the LCS that actually, when we took Doublelift and Wild Turtle on their current rosters, though, their statistics were actually relatively similar. So it was interesting to see both of them performing at a very high level, considering that TSM had a significantly worse record at the time in the regular season.
I think Turtle was a biggest benefactor being on Immortals because he had insane teammates. Adrian, very, very good support, excellent on PL champions. And Reignover and Huni, they make so much pressure for their bot lane. Sometimes I feel like Immortals bot lane, all they have to do is breathe.
Just keep breathing.
Just breathe. Just breathe.
For the love of God. Okay, I like it. No, that's a fair assessment. I mean, you're the benefactor of...
Shot call my breathing, Dash.
Yeah, beneficiary of being on a very solid team. I mean, across the board, we look at Immortals, and I mean, there's a reason why 4 of their members were first team NALCS, with only Jensen making that first team, and it's because they're all very solid players.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that Immortals are able to execute on and that they practice is they push themselves to the limit even when they're just practicing. They get themselves to that edge where they're almost going to fail, and they try to recover from it over and over again. So we've seen almost every player on this squad, and I would actually say every player on this squad, step up and have a clutch moment, whether it's Adrian, Janna ulting, whether it's Wild Turtle diving in and getting a whole bunch of kills. Everybody can step up, and that's what makes them so scary, because you wonder where we're going to focus, and you have to have a solid game plan, and you have to be able to adapt mid-game to what happens.
And whereas Immortals had a near-perfect regular season, TSM have an opportunity today to leave their tumultuous season behind. But first, they'll have to beat Immortals. Doublelift and Bjergsen say they have what it takes to get it done.
People always say that either I'm washed up or my personality just like won't work with another selfish player, quote unquote.
I think for the two of us, it's the comments like, their egos are too big, they can't fit in a team together, they can't work with their teammates, they want all the farm, they want all the kills, and like, just that we're impossible personalities to work with.
But honestly, like, every pro player just wants to win, especially the ones at the top, the ones who are consistently good. All they care about is winning, so you'll do whatever it takes to win.
You know, we're both willing to give up and let another person carry.
Roles change up, you know. New rosters means new responsibilities. And that was our big struggle was just like team play and like who on the team is supposed to do what. Too many struggles.
Too many, dude.
All of the names of our Legends episodes.
Struggles.
Hardship.
Tough split.
Yeah. We were just kind of bad. And then on week 10 when we lost to Energy, it kind of reached the critical mass of like, holy shit, we are so bad that we need to change everything about our team.
We threw that game so hard, and then it was like, throughout the whole season, we were like, maybe we'll get good, maybe it's gonna click soon, but then it was like, oh, no, it's too weak for playoffs, and we're still really bad. And we reviewed the game, and it just felt like everyone was kind of coming together and was like, we need to step it up right now, or we're just done. If we lose to C9, this split is done, and we've achieved nothing.
Coming back strong, 3 consistent games in a row. Team Solo Mid take the quarterfinal match against Cloud9.
I think a lot of the playoff buff kind of comes down to, you know, the pressure from the public, everyone feeling like TSM has to perform.
Dude, you brought TSM for like 3 years. I was on CLG. We have playoffs nerf.
Also, Reggie helping out the team a lot in terms of just mentality, hard work. I think we put a lot of focus in really figuring out how our communication should work and really what everyone's role is in the team.
It only really clicked in the last 2 weeks, so pretty happy about it.
Immortals feels like they were dominating super hard early in the split, and then in the last couple of weeks, their games have been a bit closer. They've been really close to losing a few games. They lost a game against CLG, and when we rewatched our game against them, we saw just a lot of opportunities to take advantage of some of their weaknesses.
I actually think Immortals is going to tilt the Fu in one game. They have no... I have full confidence they have no idea what to do if they lose one game on the set.
So just tilt them?
Just tilt them.
All right.
Easy strat. It's just hard work. I don't think any of us are like superhumans or anything. We just put in the work, talk about it a lot, sleep less, play more.
We're already practicing for MSI.
Holy shit. Come on, no more dank games.
Well, Doublelift thinks he has the strategy to beat Immortals. It's just tilt them. Beat them one game and tilt
You
them.
have to beat them once, though.
Yeah, exactly. You got to beat them the first game. So we need to have that strategy locked in. Anyway, we reviewed all the evidence. Now it's time to turn to you two and get your predictions for this series. So starting with you, Zyrene, who's going to the finals?
I think TSM are going to be stronger than people think. I think that TSM is going to be able to show up, but I brought my gym bag to the studio, man. I'm going to the gym at 4 o'clock. It's going to be a 3-0 Immortals.
Really?
I think they're going to be very powerful. I think they're going to come out of the gate with new things, and they're going to be able to overpower TSM.
All right, a very strong endorsement for Zyrene. Plus, he's going to get his workout in today. I'm proud of you for that. Now, Loco, for you, who's going to take it?
I also do think Immortals will win, but I don't think it'll be a 3-0.
Okay.
I think TSM has what it takes to make it at least a 3-1, even a 3-2. TSM is going to be really, really clutch in playoffs, and they know how to deal with the pressure and put it into the game and actually show up. And for Immortals, I know Doublelift was memeing when he said just tilt them, but if they do lose a game, like especially for someone like Turtle playing versus his old team in like a really, really high pressure match, like that could definitely affect them.
Yeah, mentality always a factor.
Yeah.
All right, well, there we have it. Both analysts here thinking that Immortals is going to walk away with the victory. It's time now to find out. Let's hand it off to our casters to get the series.